All right, 8th graders, this is to help you with question 7 on CR8. It says scientists received a signal from a space probe on the surface of Mars. The signal traveled at a speed of 286,000 miles per second. It took 12 minutes to reach Earth. What is the approximate distance? So what distance, expressed in scientific notation, between the Earth and Mars at the time the signal was received? Okay, so first of all, the facts you know is that it's 286,000 miles per 1 second. When 1 second passes, you've traveled 286,000 miles. When a second passes, you've traveled another 286,000 miles. All right, so I'm going to do miles per seconds. A lot of times we set up our ratios that way as 7th graders. I'll show you the upside down caret method also, because that's what you did as 6th graders. And now you're 8th graders, so you've seen it both ways. Okay, so it's 286,000 miles in 1 second. And the question is, how many miles in how many seconds did we travel? Ooh, we traveled 12 minutes. So the first thing you have to do is convert 12 minutes into seconds. And you know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, right? So if you do 12 times 60, you'll know how many seconds there are in 12 minutes. And we need that to solve this problem. So 0, now I go to my tens place. 6 times 2 is 12, put down a 2, carry a 1. 6 times 1 is 6, and 1 is 7. 720 seconds. So we now know that 12 minutes equals 720 seconds. And that's the number that will go right here. So it's 720 seconds. So now I say, okay, I'm going here to here, and then there to there. 1 times 720 is 720. So I have to multiply my numerator by 720. So that's 286,000 times 720 will tell me how many miles I've the distance, how many miles between the Earth and Mars in 12 minutes. All right, I'm going to put them both in scientific notation because they want my answer in scientific notation. So this one is 2.86 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 to the 5th, times 7.2 times 10 to the 1, 2, second power. All right, so now I got to multiply these together. So off to the side, I got to take my first factors. So now at this point, I will multiply 2.86 times 7.2, multiplying my first factors. 2 times 6 is 12, put down a 2, carry a 1. 2 times 8 is 16, and 1 is 17. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 is 5. Put down a 0. You'll notice I didn't line up my decimal points, and I'm ignoring decimal points in the center of the problem. Now I do 7 times 6 is 42. Put down a 2, carry a 4. 7 times 8 is 56, and 4 more is 60. Put down a 0, carry a 6. 7 times 2 is 14, and 6 more, I believe, is 20. Add that up. We have a 2. We have a 7 plus 2 is 9. We have a 5. We have a 0. We have a 2. Okay. So I like to, now I'm going to show you the way most teachers probably show how to determine the placement of the decimal point. But I'm going to tell you, what I say to myself is 2.86 is about 3. 7.2 is about 7. So if I'm multiplying something that's about 3 by about 7, my answer has to be about 21. So I don't even have to remember the rule on how far over to move your decimal point. I estimate, and then I put my decimal point in. But your teachers have probably shown you over 2 places, over 1 more place, over 1, 2, 3 places. And I'm guessing it probably wasn't maybe even a teacher who talked to me about estimating. My guess is as a kid, I probably kept struggling with where to put the decimal point. So I had to figure out like a strategy for myself. And what ended up working for me was to estimate first, and then I never guessed where my decimal point went. All right, just saying. So this becomes 20.592 times 10 to the, well, when we're multiplying, what do we do with our exponents? We add them. 5 plus 2. So this becomes 20.592 times 10 to the 7th power. And at this point, we got to put it back in scientific notation. So at that point, I got to think about my good friend Lars. And so I have to move 1 to the left. So I know left, I'm going to happen to add to my exponent. 1 to the left, left, add. 1 here. So that becomes 2.0592 times 10 to the 8th power. All right, so that would be my final answer. I don't know exactly what your question is. We're teammates in the math department, and Miss Prue selects the questions. In general, Miss Van Dyke or Miss Gandro makes the CR. Then for the CR helpers, or maybe Miss Pearson too. Then for the CR helpers, Miss Prue selects the questions, and then I go ahead and I do the videos. We like to call ourselves a village or a team. All right, hope that helped.